as this year's playoffs reaches its final stages and the Super Bowl comes closer and closer. Let's go throughout the bracket and figure out the circumstances of each team that was eliminated and figure out what they need to do in order to improve. Starting this series off, we'll go into the NFC, and let's take a look at the Seahawks. Coming into the season, the expectations for Seattle were pretty minuscule, as most believed that they would be one of the worst teams in the league and wouldn't really do anything in the NFC, especially after trading away Russell Wilson in a trade that most believed that they were on the losing end of. But with the sudden breakout year of Geno Smith, and with the help of elite rookies such as Kenneth Walker and Tariq Woolen, Seattle would jump out strong, having a record as good as 6-3 at the midway point of the year, finishing the year off 9-8 and surviving the hunt while clinching a wild card spot in the playoffs, and doing that with a big win against the Rams and with a little bit of help from the Lions. They would set themselves up with a matchup against the 49ers, and in a matchup where most believed that it would be a cakewalk for San Francisco. Early on, it didn't turn out that way, as Seattle would jump out to a 17-16 lead at halftime, showing that they could put up a good fight. However, San Francisco would later flip the switch in the second half, outscoring Seattle 25-6 and beating them 41-23. But despite the loss, however, this season as a whole should be seen as a big win for Seattle, being as how they overcame such low expectations. Now heading into the offseason, Seattle now holds the 5th and 20th pick in the first round going into the offseason. So let's take a look at just what they should do moving forward. With the 5th pick, I could see them drafting defensive lineman Myles Murphy. Myles Murphy could help them on their defensive line, being as they was the 29th ranked rushing defense, giving up the 3rd most total rushing yards as a team. And with Myles' size, that would address a big flaw in Seattle's defense. And with the 20th pick, I can see them drafting offensive lineman Paris Johnson Jr. to continue building that old line. Or I can see them also drafting a cornerback to pair with Tariq Woolen to shore up that secondary. Questions start to form, however, with breakout quarterback Geno Smith, who made himself a Pro Bowler this year and played himself into a nice-sized contract going into this offseason. Although he will be 33 next year, and that could cause for hesitation for Seattle to give him a long-term contract, I think with Geno's play this past year, I think Seattle has found themselves a nice quarterback that they can stick with as they look to build their team. And the way Geno's played this year, I could see him getting a contract worth around maybe $15 million a year over the next 3 years or so. Seattle has succeeded every expectation that was put on them this year, and now have a great opportunity to improve and take advantage of this situation, but only if they play their cards right.